Hi, everybody. My name is Lisa Kessler from Kessler Insurance, and I'm here today on behalf of Cheers for Charity New Hampshire. And as usual, I'm here with my dear friend Joanne Burchuk. Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, I'm Joanne Burchuk with Lighthouse Physical Therapy. And today we're excited to have our new guest, Emily, and she's with Fair Tide. And Emily, I'd love to have you introduce yourself, tell us about your organization, and who are the type of people that you're helping these days. So go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks so much for having me and for this opportunity. My name is Emily Flinkstrom. I'm the executive director of Fair Tide. We are a nonprofit that's been around for almost 23 years. We work to eliminate homelessness here in the Seacoast. We were founded in kind of true grassroots style by a handful of local citizens who realized there was an issue with homelessness in our community, and they decided to do something about it. So they raised funds to purchase and renovate a house in Kittery, Maine, and they turned it into 5 units of housing for people that were experiencing homelessness. So today we still own that house, and we operate it as permanent housing for people who are formerly homeless. But also we are in year 4 of a 5-year strategic growth plan. So we are expanding to meet what seems like the ever increasing need for affordable housing, specifically for people at the lower end of the economic spectrum. And we're doing that through a couple different avenues. So one avenue of our growth is working to open up rental units that exist in the private rental market. So we're working really closely with landlords on that. And then the other avenue of growth is we're trying to bring new units of affordable housing to the area. And all the households that we work with benefit from ongoing support from our case manager. So really the key to our success is the combination of housing and those supportive services. So our case manager works with everybody that we help secure housing for, and she works with them on their individual goals and also primarily to make sure they stay housed. And we have about a 96% success rate in keeping people in housing once we get them there. And then finally, many of you may know about us through our thrift store. So we have a thrift store associated with our agency that provides significant funding for our programming and also is a source of low-cost housing and, low-cost clothing and housewares for community members as well.
That's great. What a great organization. And there's definitely a need. This area, we're so short on affordable housing. So it's great to see organizations really trying to tackle this for our area. Now you guys are located in Kittery. What is your reach as far as helping people in the area? Are you mostly in the main area, or do you also go across the bridge, or what's your group?
Yeah, we do both. So we have clients who are in Portsmouth and communities around there, and then in Kittery and beyond in Maine as well. So the general seacoast area is what we say, but for the folks we work with who are homeless, it's pretty they're transient in nature, and they go to where the resources are. So we're a little bit flexible in our service area in that way.
And from what I understand, there's some federal grants available to landlords to help out with this situation. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and how that works?
Well, I can talk about the resources that Fair Tide offers to landlords. So we, in October of 2019, launched a landlord engagement initiative program. And we did that to help entice landlords to partner with us and provide housing for the people we work with, who often have a rental voucher in hand and join. That's probably what you're referring to, is that many of the people that we work with were able to help access those resources, which help them pay rent. And so our landlord engagement initiative really is providing additional incentives to landlords on top of the guaranteed rent that comes with a voucher. So we offer a sign-on bonus for landlords to partner with us and rent to these folks. Additionally, they have access to a risk mitigation fund for up to $2,000 if there are any damages above and beyond the security deposit. We can pay for them to hold a unit vacant while we help find the right fit to go into the unit. And then they have the support of myself and our case manager, not just for the tenant, but for the landlord as well. So yeah, it's a combination of kind of federal and state resources through the voucher, which pays the rent, and then resources that Fairtide is offering to kind of additional incentive for landlords to work with us.
And you have your retail store too. Does that fund a good share of this for you, or do you rely pretty heavily on donations outside of that for support?
We have kind of a diverse number of funding streams. So our thrift store definitely is a significant source of income, although I will say with COVID, it has been less so. We had to shut the doors of our store for several months, and sales have not fully recovered, as I think a lot of retail businesses are experiencing. But we also get grant funding from various foundations, and the community has been incredibly generous to us, both individuals and local businesses, over our 23 years in existence. And specifically, as we've been facing these challenges with COVID as well, we've had a lot of community members and businesses step up to help kind of fill those funding gaps that we saw go by the wayside because of the pandemic. So yeah, a variety of different funding streams, which is a good thing for us. It allows us to be a little more flexible in what we're doing and not rely on one particular source of revenue.
So you're muted, Lisa. I don't want to keep talking if you had something. I did. Oh no, I lost my question. So what are your biggest needs right now? How can the community help you guys?
So in general, we're always looking for additional financial support for our programming. Again, especially because our traditional funding streams like our thrift store and our biggest fundraising event of the year, we had to cancel last year, and are also doing so this year. So financial donations to our agency is always incredibly helpful. Donating items to our thrift store also indirectly benefits the work that we're doing in the community for folks who are homeless. We are able to sell those items in the store, and that money is directly put toward the work that we're doing. We also love to have volunteers help us. So in normal times, we rely really heavily on volunteers to help run our thrift store. We're still kind of inching back into that, but we also look for volunteers to help with other aspects of our programming. So if you have a specific skill like web development or marketing or data entry, any of those things, we'd love to talk with you about how you may be able to help us. We're a small, lean agency staff-wise, so we're always looking for folks to jump in and help at a committee level, or joining the board of directors. Those are also opportunities that exist. And again, I just will drive home the point about landlords. Landlords are just in such a unique position to help us do what we're doing. We have a real lack of housing in general, let alone affordable housing in our region. And while we are working on trying to be able to build more and kind of lay the groundwork for that, we also need to be finding creative ways to open up units that already exist. So if there are any landlords watching, please contact us. We'd love to talk with you about a partnership.
Yeah, that's great.
That's awesome. Oh, go ahead, Joanne.
Yeah, no, go you ahead. Your turn.
No, I'll do the wrap up.
Okay. I have not been in your thrift store. Can you just share what kind of items that you might be looking for?
Okay, well, first of all, you need to come. Okay. It's amazing that we get such amazing items in there. So from women's and men's clothing, kids clothing, to kitchenware, to some really neat knickknacks, books, jewelry. I mean, we accessories. We have it all. Bed linens, blankets, pillows. I mean, we've got everything, and it's really a treasure trove. I feel lucky to have an office there because I can walk through every day and and peek at all the great donations that people have given and that we're able to sell back to the community.
I love that whole, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I love the whole concept. It's sort of like that it has this sustainable, social, responsible kind of component while you're doing good. Like, it got multiple factors, right? Like we're recycling and upcycling products and getting them, keeping them out of landfills and making them still useful. At the same time that the dollars are going back and providing value for individuals who really, need the support for home, to finding a home, right? To be in a home, to stay in a home, those kinds of, yeah. So that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, and
that
just to
combination.
add to that, I think the other great benefit is that our prices are very reasonable, and so people that don't have a whole lot of money to spend can come in and find something and benefit from those low costs too.
Well, thrifting's hot. I mean, my teenager's
Yeah.
thrifting all the time. Yeah. Yeah, she's addicted. She's like, Mom, I can get great deals and really cute stuff for much less than if I was at a regular
It's true.
store. And she works for her money. So that's awesome. So it's fantastic what you guys are doing. It's so important. Have you seen an uptick in need since COVID?
Yes, for sure. There are, so many more people who have lost their jobs or their income is unstable. And I think even before COVID, there were, lots of families, lots of households that were paying a significant amount of their income on housing costs, and therefore they're kind of on this precarious edge of homelessness. And so with this, with this job loss related to COVID, it really pushed a lot of people over that edge. So luckily, there are resources available to help. And we actually, through the generosity of our community and some foundations, have been able to raise about $50,000, of which we've distributed almost 30,000 to help people stay in their homes, get, stay up to date on their bills. So if there is anybody watching that is in a position where they need financial assistance, please reach out to. We are happy to help in that manner. It's, we're in a moment in our with the housing market that there's just less than a 1% vacancy rate. There are not very many options out there. So the last thing we want is more folks who are losing their housing. So we're doing all that we can to make sure that the impacts of COVID are not pushing people into homelessness.
That's great to know.
Awesome. Well, Emily, this is so fascinating. So the big question is, people have heard this, they're interested, they want to learn more about Fairtide. First, tell me, where'd the name come from?
So Fairtide is it's a mariner's term. It means that the tide is in the direction in which it helps move a vessel forward. And so it's really fitting for what we do, is that we kind of help put people on that right track and push them in the direction of where they should be going in life.
Oh, fantastic. So if someone wants to learn more about that, the solutions that you have, and they're interested in contributing both financially or in terms of time, how do they learn more?
Yep, they can visit our website. It's fairtide.org. Or they can, that has all our contact info, but they can also reach out to me directly. And my email is executivedirector@fairtide.org.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much, Emily. We really appreciate you being here today. It's been really fascinating.
Well, thank you so much.